morning guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's theme of my vlog is going to be around how I deal personally with stress and anxiety. The reason why I wanted to touch on this is because recently I got a weighted blanket. I chucked it on my Instagram and I had so many people asking about reviews and what's it about. So I'm going to tell you about that, but then I thought I'd dedicate the whole vlog to just talking about stress and anxiety because it is something that I suffer from. I personally think my anxiety has a lot to do with the high stressful life that I tend to lead. For me personally, I feel like I've always lived a very fast-paced, high-stress life. So I went straight from high school into my law degree full-time. I was also working in a law firm, sometimes part-time, sometimes full-time during that degree. I experienced my first sort of anxiety attacks, I'll call them, during my degree, usually around assessment pieces. And I just used to feel so overwhelmed with what I had to get done. I would literally just start crying, go into just uncontrollable. I just felt so out of control of how I could feel. So we're talking a good 4 or 5 years ago. So since then, I then went straight into working full-time in a law firm, as well as doing my YouTube, Instagram, all my side stuff. So I've always just led kind of a high stress life, which obviously when you're just stressed out, it does lead to stress and anxiety. So first of all, I'm gonna do a quick review on this weighted blanket for you. If you guys don't know what a weighted blanket is, oh my god, I can't say it. It is just a blanket, Wolf loves it, and it has weighted beads and the science behind it. So there's actually so many tests and science behind it. So they have actually been using the technology of these blankets for quite a long time with people with just disorders like autism. And recently there's been a lot of studies done and they've found that it's revolutionary for things like stress, anxiety. And the way I can explain it is you get in the blanket and it feels like someone is hugging you. I'm just gonna tell you guys how I feel. And so when you're feeling stress and anxiety, you feel up here, you just feel not in control. And so when I get under this blanket, it almost grounds me. There's pressure, I feel grounded, and I no longer feel like I'm floating up in the air and just out of control. I have been trying this out for a couple of weeks now and I'm actually obsessed. I find it is amazing to help me get to sleep. I struggle a lot getting to sleep, usually just because I have so many things running during my mind. And so when me and Tim watch dinner before we go to bed, I jump under this. Yeah, I don't know, it just makes me feel grounded. It makes me feel safe and it just feels like a warm hug. And then I feel like I've been having the most amazing sleeps. And then also just if I'm having a bit of a stressful afternoon and I just feel very out of control, I'll come and jump under it. It is summer here in Queensland, so it's not too much heavier than a normal blanket, but I do have aircon on, so it's fine. But yeah, I'll jump under it and it just makes me feel grounded, safe, and so much better. So I really wanted to review it and tell you guys about it because I generally think it could help so many people, especially if you feel stress, anxiety, insomnia. So yeah, I actually cannot recommend it enough. We'll leave the links and all that sort of jazz in the description for you guys. So the company where I get the blankets from are called Calming Blankets, and they have been so generous and they are giving you guys $85 off with the code Georgie. And I was thinking this would be a really amazing Christmas present if you know someone who suffers with anxiety or stress, because it's something that they can do by themselves. So I will chuck all the deets in the description bar and the code and all that jazz, but I have absolutely been loving it. Anyway, I'm going to eat my breakfast, finish that off, and then start my day. But throughout the day, I'm gonna tell you guys about other things that I do for my stress and anxiety personally. So I'm just about to sit down and do some work, but I wanted to get into my next tip and something that I do that really helps me with my stress and anxiety. And usually mine comes from feeling overwhelmed from work or study. So something I do every single morning, whether I'm stressed, I just do it every single morning, is I sit down and I write a list. I just got this notepad, I think it was from like Kiki K. So it's got full times down here, top priorities and to do. And so I sit down and I write the to do. And like this morning, I was feeling a bit stressed. And then I wrote down my to-do and I literally only have 4 things to complete today. So writing them down and putting them in the time spaces, I felt 100 times better. And sometimes I feel like my stress and anxiety is just from too many things floating around in my head. So once I put them down on pen and paper, I feel so much better. So if you are someone who feels like a bit of stress, a bit of overwhelm, highly recommend do a to-do list. Just get things onto paper and you're gonna feel 100 times better. Hello.
Hey.
How are you?
Good. I did my first run this morning.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you feeling sore?
Back on it.
Cooper is over. If you remember, Cooper is my brother and he's over for a chat and lunch. But I just want to ask Cooper, I know Cooper has dealt with stress and anxiety, so I'm wondering what's your sort of tip of when you experience that?
I like to go down to the beach.
Cooper lives near the beach.
Person. Yeah, I just recently moved down to the beach.
So you go down the beach and do you take your phone? Like, what do you do?
So I like to leave my phone at home. I like to just go down there by myself and go for a surf. Thought I had to go for a surf with a mate, but
so spending time by yourself in your own head, no distractions, in nature is your de-stressing tool.
Yeah, so you find your element in your lifestyle to try and zone out. Like that's what we all look for.
And that it usually is to do with nature. I'm such a big, when I get out of nature and getting out of your own head is such a good distressing tool.
Yeah.
Me and Cooper have just ordered, we got Deliveroo because we're working hard, some salmon and avo honey soy chicken, and Cooper got the exact same.
She copied me.
Okay guys, so I'm getting on to my next tip, and something that I'm about to show you, you have never seen before. I don't even think I put this on my story. This is like my happy place, my serenity, and basically where I go, where I am in that really bad mental place where I don't feel in control and all that sort of thing. My next tip to you guys is find what works for you. So me telling you these tips are obviously great for ideas, but you still need to go do the work and find what works for you. Me personally, much like Cooper was saying, when I get out in nature and I disconnect from social media and even disconnect from people, I find so much relief in how I'm feeling. So one of the number one things I do when I feel stress and anxiety is I get outside, I turn my phone on silent and I listen to an audiobook or a podcast and I get into nature. And that for me is just like a game changer. It is so simple. Yeah, it works for me. So find what works for you. Obviously, I know it isn't like easy to just like drop everything and go for a walk in nature. But for example, when I used to work at the law firm in the city, I would take my lunch break, put my earphones in, didn't have AirPods then, put my earphones in, turn my phone on silent and just go for a walk around the city. I'd usually try and go near the river. And so you can really do it anywhere, but I just found that helped so much internally. Come on. weird. Tim's next to me and we're just watching some TV. And this brings me to my sort of last little de-stressing tip. And that is to completely shut off at night. So every night I sort of shut all my work down before dinner, and then I cook dinner, and then me and Tim watch TV, and then also around half an hour before we're actually going to go to sleep, we go upstairs and we just spend like half an hour chatting, and then we go to bed. And for me, that is such a big help with getting to sleep and de-stressing, because usually I have 100 things going through my head, and just sort of having that intimate time with Tim just makes him feel so much better. So obviously, like I said previously, like it's really good to sort of get out of nature and be disconnected from people, but then I also find that like that time with someone, and especially winding down for the night, is really helpful to me. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I shall see you in my next one. Bye for now.
Say bye, Bear.
He's like, Mom.
Say good night.